Ladies and gentlemen, this is James Wallace, and welcome to YouTubeAdRevenue.com. We're at step 6 here, which is about payment, and it's not really a step in the truest sense. It's more of an explanation, but I think it's really important that we look at some information here. Now, the first thing I'd like to take a look at is links and tracking. So just to give you an example here, we're gonna look at the Jump Manual as a product. Now, here's the advertiser link. Right underneath it is the advertiser link as well. However, we're adding a TID, which is tracking ID. And so we have in the third line the advertiser link here, the TID, and then the ID itself, which would be your YouTube user ID. And then we take this last link right here, and we cloak it and create a link that looks a little bit better. And as I explained in an earlier video, we end up with the forwarding domain, the advertiser, and then your initials right here. So we have MW representing MetaWealth. So with this link here, this cloak link that contains all the information we need, we're able to do some tracking. And what we can track is traffic and clicks. We can also track order form impressions, and we can track sales. Now we can actually track a lot more than that, but those are really the three most important things. Right now, currently, it's a third-party system, but it allows for totally private tracking. In other words, it's actually a fourth-party system. There's you, the publisher, there's us, there's the advertiser, and then there's the advertiser network. And the advertiser network takes all this information and allows you to generate some reports. So I can't influence it, we can't influence it at YouTube Ad Revenue. The publisher yourself can't influence it, obviously, and the advertiser as well can't influence it. So it's completely independent. We are working on a multi-user tracking system. We hope to have that up soon, and that way you'd be able to log in and check all your reports and generate those reports and look at that. The next step is the payout itself. So we've generated some reports, and based on whatever percentage we've agreed to, and we've obviously agreed to something at this point, 15, 20, 25, or 30% of sales, we generate a report. We pay out on the 7th of each month for the previous calendar month, and we pay out exclusively via PayPal. It's just much easier to run our business that way. So we're going to generate the report, we're going to calculate your share of the profit, and we're going to make that payment to you. So you're going to receive some money or you're not on the 7th, and that's a pretty big question here. What if there is no payout? Well, that simply means that there was no sales, and so therefore there can be no pay, as this is a profit share scenario. And some of the reasons for that could be slumping views or new videos. They just don't have enough traction yet. There's not enough viewers. And something that can kind of ease your mind is that time can be a factor. We have a system where we install cookies on people's videos when they click, or pardon me, their computers. When they click through these links, a cookie's installed in that computer. It's not malicious, it's not malware or spyware or anything like that. It just basically is there, so if the person returns to the product and purchases it in the future 30, 60, 90, sometimes up to 180 days later, you will receive credit for that. So that's something to think about as well. Alternatively, we can try out another product. We can keep this going, try something out, and see if that will result in sales. So one last thing here, I just want to show you one of our tracking systems, and this is just one of the advertiser networks that we work with. And I really wish I could show you more, but as I mentioned in the privacy policy, or regarding the privacy policy, we take that really, really seriously. This contains some very private data about ourselves, and there's also some private data about some other publishers out there as well. Let me just show you this really quickly, and I'll show you as much as I can. Right here in the top left corner, you can see how we can track by vendor, we can track by tracking ID, which is actually, one of those is going to be yours. We can track by country, it's not important here, but I just want to show you this really quickly, is that here's an individual, and I'm not going to show you the name, but you can see over time how the click-throughs have actually gone up, and they've gone down, and they've actually skyrocketed here and remained really high. We did some tweaking with the ad, with the description and the link, and saw a great rise right there. So that's going to be part of it too, and I will tell you right now, if we have to do some tweaking, we will do it, and we obviously hope that you'll cooperate with that, because it is definitely a mutually beneficial scenario. I'm just going to show you two more things. One is the date range here, and so we click on custom range, and if we were making a payment for April 7th for the previous month would be March, so we're going to click March 1st here, and then we're going to click obviously March 31st, and then we're going to click this go button. And as you can see, it's processing requests. It's going to generate all this data we need to see the traffic. We're going to see if there was a slump in traffic. We're going to see if there's a rise in traffic. But for the purposes of payment, basically, we're going to have it right there. There was X number of products sold. There was X amount of products sold. And we're going to make that quick mathematical equation there and figure out what we owe you and get that out to you on the 7th. The last thing I want to show you, I'm just going to scroll down here and try to show you as much of this as I can. But this is basically all the data fields, all the categories of information that can be generated, and we're going to look at a lot of that stuff. Like I said, for the purposes of trying to tweak and improve the conversions, and so that you can get more on the 7th, and also, you know, to calculate your payment. So that's it for payments at this time, and there's just a couple other things that I want to mention to you. Occasionally we get a message saying, how do we know you're not fudging it, and how do we know you're actually paying us exactly what you owe us? And what we said to that in the past is that we will, upon request, provide a screenshot of your account showing exactly how many units you sold, and so therefore the calculation is obvious, and we will do that upon request. I just want to also mention, and this, you know, I know there's a lot of scammers out there online. We are not a fly-by-night operation. We are people of integrity, absolutely. But if I can just tell you, the self-serving purpose is that we really, truly want to pay you your profit share, your share of the profit, 15, 30%, whatever it is. We want to pay that to you because we want the traffic to continue and the sales to continue, and so therefore our profits to continue. And that is obviously essential. We're happy to make those payments because that means we're actually making money. So anyway, I hope that kind of clarifies some questions you might have regarding payment. And if you do have any further questions, don't hesitate to contact us. And I guess one last thing here is, if you want to move on, click on go to step 7 right here, or go to the advanced category, and those videos should be up soon. See you at step 7.